you. Good afternoon, everybody. We're about to start our June 5th, 2018 Town Board meeting. So we'll start by raising for the Pledge of Allegiance. Bob, you want to lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'll turn the meeting over to Mr. Wooten.
Yes, at the beginning of every meeting, we try to recognize those in our faith community here in the town of Riverhead. And we are privileged to have with us the pastor of the First Congregational Church of Riverhead, the Reverend Sean B. Murray, the doctor, Reverend Sean. Reverend Doctor, that's okay. Good afternoon.
Did you just want to announce about your rededication this weekend? Just to...
Thank you so much for being there. We did, I'm pastor of First Congregational Church, which is the very pretty church on Main Street, not to be confused with that Methodist church. We're the one on the other side of the Suffolk Theater on the west side. And we just rededicated our church, which had major renovations pretty much from top to bottom all over. And our esteemed supervisor was with us, as well as quite a number of guests. We were absolutely delighted. Thank you.
Thank you for helping to keep the historic structures downtown intact. It really is, it's a beautiful church.
Thank you. I'm here because I'm stepping in. There's a man by the name of Father Bowden Hens. Some of you may know him. He is pastor of the Ukrainian Catholic Church. It's not an Orthodox church, and it's not a Roman Catholic church. But he shares similar traditions. I'm doing something I don't usually do in honor of him. In his tradition, they stick to the book. They tend to read their prayers that are all set for them by their tradition. So I reached into a book, and I decided to share a prayer that I think a lot of us know. You know it as perhaps the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi or the Peace Prayer. You might not know that St. Francis of Assisi did not write this, but it was attributed to him. And the oldest form of this prayer happens to be in French. I'll read it in English, though. And you can look it up. Together we pray. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Amen. Yes, peace to you all. Have a wonderful meeting. Congratulations. Okay. God bless you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Drop
Thank
off
you.
some food at a pantry and then go play in the garden.
All right, nice.
And can I have an approval of the meeting minutes from May 16th, 2008?
I move that we approve the minutes.
For May 16th, I'll second.
First and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
The minutes are approved. I'll just go right into reports, if that's okay?
Yes.
The tax receiver, I had three dates for their reports on the tax collection, but I'll just give you the last one. And that was collection to date as of May 30th, and that was $402,408.33. The building department submitted their monthly report of $69,619.52. Police Department submitted their 2017 monthly report. The Water District submitted their 2017 annual water supply report. Under parades and assembly permits, the Riverhead High School graduation submitted their application for the high school graduation on June 23rd. The Classic Car Show will be every Thursday evening, May 24th through August 30th, and that's on the Peconic River parking lot. Under correspondence, we had 3 letters regarding the building construction on East Main Street and the effects to neighboring properties. That was the United Methodist Church. Kathleen McGraw sent a letter regarding the special permit application of United Riverhead Terminal. There were 3 letters expressing views and concerns as to the CAT and the Q&E hearing of EPCAL property and the Board of Ethics investigation. And there are no public hearings today.
Thank you very much. I'd also just, before we go on to our proclamations, I just want to remind people that the Long Island Blood Center is hosting their blood drive today. It started at 1 o'clock and will be open till 7 p.m. this evening. It's taking place at the Riverhead Firehouse over on Roanoke Avenue. And if you donate blood, you'll receive a free sandwich and a free scoop of ice cream, so you can't beat that. So if you'd like to make an appointment sometime between now and 7, you can give a call over there to Lauren at 631-369-9136, or just stop in to donate blood. So we encourage you all to do that today. And today we'd like to get moving forward with 2 proclamations, so we can get started with that. This is the Town of Riverhead Labor Management Committee. We're recognizing our employees of the quarter, and we're doing 2 employees this time because we've delayed one. So if I could ask Juan and Andrew to come up. Some people go above and beyond their job, giving a little more work, working a little harder to provide outstanding service. We are very pleased today to honor 2 such men as Riverhead Town Employees of the Quarter. So to Juan Alvarez, who's with our engineering department as a maintenance mechanic and a familiar... I'm sorry. And you're a familiar face around town. I see you in the mornings when I come in. You're a kind and helpful, multi-talented man who is always stepping up to do whatever needs to be done. So congratulations on earning this recognition for the 4th quarter of 2017. So this is a proclamation provided by myself and the town board to you. And to our highway departments, Andy Dick, who has demonstrated initiative, attention, skill, and talent as automotive equipment operator for our highway department. Congratulations on earning the recognition for the 1st quarter of 2018. We are grateful to have both of you as part of our team, and thank you very much for all you contribute to the town. From myself and the town board in recognition of your service to the town, so thank you both.
Thank you very much.
So thank you very much.
Wants to say something.
Okay. Did labor management, somebody want to come up and say something?
Come on, come
Don't
on.
be shy.
Come on, Sarge.
Come on, labor management.
Thank you very much. Like we discussed in labor management, we were thinking of people who truly went over and above as far as doing their job every day. The first person I thought of was Juan. I don't work with Andy, but it was Juan that I thought of. And, Juan truly does go over and above every day. He comes in about 4:45 every morning, and some of us are at the end of our midnight shift at that point. If you sit still long enough, you will get swept and mopped. Please don't stay, you better get out of his way. But I think everybody knew that Juan was a really good employee and what a great job he did. But earlier this year, he took several weeks off. I think he was dealing with a family issue, but it was then, as the place truly fell apart and was not its clean, present place every single day, that we really realized what he did every day. So, Juan, we appreciate what you do every day, and we've learned not to hide anything on him or move anything, because you'll also learn that too, especially his hand truck. And thank you very much. Enjoy your day off. You truly deserve it. To you too, Andy, also, we truly appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
privilege of teaching Juan's son, which I didn't make a connection till today. His son Alex, and he was a wonderful young man, and I have to say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
That's a pretty big tree.
Yeah, we can just have you guys stand here, and we'll take a picture with you.
I think it might be better this way, so I just.
I got to drive with Mama too.
You wanna just push it? Do you wanna just open them up?
Tim, you always hide in the back, come on.
Stop, Tim.
All right, there we go.
Laura's
Come on
acting
up.
as a slimming measure.
Yeah, thanks, not really working so much.
Okay, smile, guys.
No, you got them all lined up. Okay. Thank you very much. Tim, why'd you stick out?
About Tim, get your one, get your one shot.
Tim, did you get it? You can always download it from local.
Or our eyes on that.
Can you see my idea?
You gonna hold that up? You get to pick a day out. I hope so.
When I saw it,
Oh, okay, okay.
assumed that's
Might
what it
give me
was
a heart
gonna
attack
be.
here.
But I guess it was all for labor.
Yeah.
Sal? What do you got, Sal? You're gonna have to point him out next, I don't know.
It's okay, I was thinking, is that, sometimes we'll have a hard time.
Yeah, no.
And I thought first thing, I know,
I know. All right, at this time, I will ask anybody from the audience who would like to come up and address the board on any one of the resolutions, please to come forward.
Sal Mastropolo, Calverton. Resolution 409.
Yes.
I guess I have a question for those of you that remember back when the Polish people migrated to this town. Did we bring in a town clerk that spoke Polish to interpret for them?
We
I
actually
don't-
had one that spoke Polish.
Did we? Okay, thank you.
This was really had back then, there was a lot of Polish people.
Resolution 431. I guess I have a question on this.
You may ask your question, how's that?
Yeah. Does the town ever follow up with all of these requests for waiving the application fee for nonprofits to find out how much money was donated from these events to the nonprofits?
We don't necessarily follow up on that, but I've been speaking, Laura Calamita goes through a lot of these requests, and I think that it's time that we review who pays the fee, who doesn't pay the fee, how we follow up on these things. I think in the height of the season right now, we're waiting till after September, and then we'll begin the review for next year. So it is something that we definitely want to look into and that we have plans to look into. Just in the height of changing anything or restructuring any of this, in the middle of all the applications, and when we started to look at it, it became very, very complicated. So it's better to start the process in the off-season for review.
Okay, I'd like to suggest that we have them file a financial statement with the revenue and how much was donated, okay, to see who's making all the money. Because if you ask me on this one, the one that's going to make the money is Martha Clara Vineyards, okay? And we don't know what percentage of the revenue is going to the nonprofits or the charities.
Okay, I think that's a very good suggestion, thank you.
Resolution 434, I don't see anything in this resolution about the $500 administrative fee being paid to the Office of the Fire Marshal. There's another resolution later on for fireworks, and we definitely mention the $500 fee being paid. So somebody should check this one to make sure that there was a $500 fee paid
will double check on that.
Resolution 438. I guess if,
I'm sorry, which, 438?
438.
Okay,
That's fine.
I guess if the applicant doesn't ask to waive the fee, we don't waive the fee, because here's the Shore and Wading River Chamber of Commerce, okay, paying the fee when the proceeds are being donated to Fight Like a Girl Foundation.
I think there's
So-
there's a difference, there's two kinds of, there's like a 403CB, and then there's other organizations that then are not that are not-for-profit, that donate to other organizations. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, I will check on it, but I think the not-for-profits are just those listed as 403CB. 503CB, I'm sorry.
.444. In the attachment, there's no dollar figure for what the town is going to get for the utilization of police personnel vehicles.
Right, yes.
There's gonna be a substitution on that. The number actually is going to be, and it got slightly modified, and
This is under compensation, correct?
correct. And for two, traffic control officers and two, cars, the amount's going to be $384.85. That's based upon, 140 for the two police cars for 7 hours each, or a total of 14 hours, and, same for the TCOs. If we have to, utilize one part-time police officer in addition to one TCO, the compensation just for that personnel would be $283.11. And then if it's, two part-time police officers, it's $321.37, just for the personnel. So the car amount will stay the same for all three,
Okay.
140.
Just for Bob, I know I had spoken to you about this. I thought that we were going to word this something along the lines that they will pay the sum for a police personnel and a vehicle, police personnel's fee to be determined based on who was assigned, and it would have a range of these numbers, because we couldn't guarantee any of these numbers until the scheduling of that day.
The way I phrased it is that they're going to pay the $384.84 upon signing the agreement, and if, in the event we cannot, have two TCOs, Winship agrees to pay such additional amount once they're invoiced or given a, bill to send, is the way I rephrased the,
Okay, so,
agreement.
and then the other question was I don't know how he came up with the 2361. On the date of the event, anybody after 7, an hourly rate of 2360.
That's coming out. That all, I eliminated that, so that there's no question, because that was an old 2017 number.
So do we have the updated version of
I
this?
have a bunch of them for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I emailed John, but I also have copies for the board.
Okay.
Okay, one last question. There's a resolution in here for the 4th of July Family Day on Route 25A in Wading River. Okay, and I know every year there's 2 traffic control officers at the side of the road those nights. Okay, but I didn't see anything in here for
I'm sorry,
them
can you
paying.
Just repeat that again, I'm sorry.
Okay, there's a resolution in here for the 4th of July Carnival on 25A in Wading River. Okay, that's sponsored by Peconic Bay Medical Center. Okay, they paid the fee for there's fireworks display and everything. And there's 2 traffic control officers, okay, every the two or three nights to control traffic on 25A, people crossing the road, cars coming in and going out, because I've worked it a couple of times. My wife's a volunteer. I didn't see anything in here for them paying for the traffic control officers and the cars there. Do we recover the cost of the traffic control officers and the cars for the use those 3 nights, or don't we? I didn't see anything in the paperwork.
Bob, do we charge them for recovering those fees?
I think historically we have not.
Well, when we look at the 255 applications and the fees and everything, we should standardize the forms and have a series of questions. Do you want traffic control officers? Do you want cars on site? And if so, then there should be charges associated with all of that. As long as we're gonna look at the entire process, let's look at the revenue generated, what fees are required, what permits are required, et cetera.
I agree with you. And as I said, we started looking at it as some of these started coming in, and because half were done and half were not done, and it's in the middle of the season of doing it, it became very complex to answer all of the issues, and also to get some community feedback and what is considered a not-for-profit. I think your suggestion to have them file the money that they intake and how it will be utilized should be part of the conversation. But what we've decided to do is to conduct business as it had been conducting as these were coming in, and that we will review it in the off-season, because there's a lot of tweaks that could be had.
Okay, thank you.
I'm not sure I would agree with that anyway. We're not with Peconic Bay.
Well, I don't.
Double tax is what I meant.
But I think there needs to be a conversation
Sure
to
there is.
decide so that everybody, it's fair with everybody across the board. If
Yep.
you're a not-for-profit, if you're a for-profit, who gets charged, who doesn't, whether police gets charged,
Right.
whether cars get charged, what's the amount of time?
Oh,
I think
it's a-
it needs a comprehensive
good
review.
exercise to do it. I think Peconic Bay, Peconic article has nothing to do with it.
Well, that's what I said. I prefer not to do it on a per
Right.
event.
It's gotta be, right,
It should be
case by
kind of
case.
uniform across the board, so people know when they're planning their event too, what their expenses will be. I think that's
Yep.
historically been the challenge, is when somebody comes in for one event, all of a sudden the price of the event changes when they put their application in, and they don't know how to charge appropriately for people attending some of the stuff. So. Mr. Barton?
Yes, good afternoon, Supervisor and the rest of the town board. My name is George Bartnick, and I just want to thank you for your anticipated support for Resolution 390, Vietnam Veterans Memorial Trail Budget Adoption. I think that the entire town board has been in support of this project for a lot of years, and especially the efforts of Councilwoman Giglio for the determination over the years that we've been serving together on the Alternative Transportation Advisory Committee. It's been a long haul. The entire project started, for your information, I don't think none of you were on the town board at that time, as a matter of fact. It goes back a long ways. As a matter of fact, I was thinking
I
that...
was gonna say, were you on the town board at that point?
There was a time when I even had a student in junior high school named Jimmy Wooten. Goes back up.
Was he well behaved?
You know, it's so long ago, I mean, I have trouble remembering what I had for breakfast, so I don't remember. I'm not gonna say anything about Jim back in the day. But this whole thing started back in January 2006 with a simple letter from a fellow by the name of Don Hawkins, who has remained as a member of the Alternative Transportation Advisory Committee. And I'll just read a paragraph that he wrote to the town board at that time. It was actually addressed to the supervisor at the time, Phil Cardinale. And he said, "I do feel that the EPCAL property represents a golden opportunity for the town to construct a network of family-oriented recreation bikeways. In communities where they exist, bikeways are heavily utilized and certainly justify the expenditure to construct them." I look at this letter. I took a little time to find it in my files, and I've gotten a little brown around the edges here. But I sometimes wonder when I read this letter or stumble across it if Don realized, if he were to go back 12 years now and think of how long it took to get here, if he would have even written the letter. But I want to thank you for your anticipated support. It's been a long haul, and thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
George.
Thank
George.
you, and thank you, you guys have been meeting diligently on this trail, so we really appreciate all your time and effort to keep this process moving forward.
I don't know what I'm going to do every other Friday.
We'll find something else for you to do.
I think Linda will find something, George.
You're
George,
gonna,
I want to thank you for all of your work and working with Jody on this project. It's a good thing.
so now your next project is gonna be to connect the rails to trails to this project.
Yeah, once we get this done, that's the goal.
Good afternoon, Town Supervisor, Town Council people. My name is Liz Stokes. I am a lifetime community resident. Also co-chair of the Riverhead Town Veterans Advisory Committee. First, let me personally thank George Bartnick. I have seen this man in action. He's on a mission. Anybody that keeps that much passion in the heart to get something done is going to get it done. So congratulations, Mr. Bartnick. You saw this to the end when others walked away. I became involved with my passion for veterans when it was named the Vietnam Veteran Memorial Trail. A missing piece of this community is our salute to our Vietnam veterans. This is a community filled with 2,500 veterans. Somebody once said that when anyone serves from this community, the community serves with them, and that is correct. When the trail was named the Vietnam Veteran Memorial Trail, after an initiative that the United States took on for each town to finally give some kind of commemorative piece to our Vietnam veterans, I watched what this did to the Vietnam veterans in our town. Some went and walked the trail just to see what it was like. And they told me of stories of different pathways in Vietnam that they walked that were just named trails. And I listened then to the war stories of losing their buddies and coming home, not being thanked, not being welcomed. And as I said to the one vet, well, this is your trail in America, and it happens to be in Riverhead. And the town of Riverhead thanks you for your service, and we'll walk with you on this trail. So it is my hope that this does get passed. I support it 150%, as do the Vietnam veterans in this town. And I thank you all for your effort every single day for veterans in this town. Riverhead is second to none in what we do for veterans. So I thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Liz.
Good afternoon. Rex Farr, Calverton, coordinator for the Coalition Against Housing at EPCAL. Thank you, George Bartnick. I am a Vietnam veteran, 68, so I appreciate all the effort that the town and everybody has done to honor our service. First, I'd like to begin with letting you know that we understand that you, the present board, have been put...
You're just being asked if you're...
Oh, I beg your pardon. 4:45?
Okay.
To bring aboard outside counsel?
Okay.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I beg your pardon. 4:45. We understand that our former supervisor has put you in a very, very difficult position. A lot of work has gone into the property at EPCAL, trying to find the right solution, the right buyer, and so on, and we appreciate that. We also want you to understand that we would very much like to be a part of the aerospace industry and would very much like to see high-paying jobs come to the town of Riverhead. Today, however, we are here to speak about the ethical behavior of our town board, and in particular, behavior by Councilwoman Jody Giglio. For over a year, the residents of Riverhead have been lied to, bullied, treated with arrogance and disdain, name-calling, temper tantrums, closed-door meetings, and basically ignoring rules.
What rules would you be referring to, just out of curiosity?
For example, why were you sitting in a meeting when they're hiring outside counsel and you were being investigated?
Because outside counsel needs to be brought in order to not have a conflict.
You asked me a
with
question,
the
I
town
answered
attorney's
it.
office. Okay.
Okay? So, again, going back to behavior. Following me will be some speakers and we'll be more specific about our objections, but we do encourage outside counsel. As I just said, one of the questions that we have is, how, Jody, do you sit in on a meeting that is discussing the investigation? We don't understand that. I'm going to have John McCullough be more specific. We hope that we can solve these problems.
We are setting an example for the rest of the town. People are looking at us. This deal that we're talking about is bigger than Riverhead, you can bet, because we have a lot of questions as to how the heck we are here.
Rex,
but- yeah.
we just need to stick for the resolution.
Yeah.
So your objections to the resolution or your favor of the resolution?
The resolution, we are in favor of bringing aboard outside counsel.
Okay.
Okay?
And if you want to comment other issues, it's at the end of the meeting.
Yeah, no. We're here to discuss the ethical behavior of Jody Giglio. Thank you.
John McAuliffe from Rolling Woods in Riverhead. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
We're familiar in this encounter, and I'm afraid we probably will be for still another month or 2 or 3 or 4,
Not that long.
whatever. The,
Couple weeks.
what I'm interested in, first of all, as Rex said, we do, I work with the Coalition Against EPCAL Housing, and we do support the resolution. I have a specific question about implementation and whether or not this is real or an academic exercise. It would be very helpful to know now, before the board actually meets, what the position is of each board member as to whether you will accept the recommendation of the board and be guided by it.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. Phil Barbado, Jamesport. I'm the head of the RNPC and also a member of the Coalition Against Housing at EPCAL. This is also on number 445. Looking into Mr. Besso's background, I can certainly agree that he is a distinguished and long-serving attorney who probably really knows his business. The only question I do have is, looking at the areas of law that he specializes in for 45 years, it does not include ethics or municipal law. And I'm wondering how the board came about to choosing this individual person versus someone who might have more of a specific background in the area that we're looking for to advise our ethics board.
Bob, would you like to address that question?
Yeah, I don't have his particular criteria in front of me, but he's sat on the 10th Judicial District panel for the disciplining of attorneys, which deals with ethical questions all the time, and was the chair. He did that for something, I believe, in excess of 20 years. So having been recognized by his colleagues within the practice of law as someone who would fill that particular position, and also acting as the chair, to me, and I can't speak for the board, but that certainly is addressing head-on ethical issues as they deal with the practice of law, and he has familiarity on handling complaints and investigations based upon that particular experience. So I guess that's an important part of why he was selected to take that spot. In addition to that, he's got no familiarity with the town of Riverhead nor the particular players, so he comes in with a neutral and unbiased perspective.
Yeah, I'm sorry, the only reason I asked the question is his own description of his own experience doesn't include that.
I believe that there was a recommendation by the ethics board prior to this, and when that attorney was contacted, that there was a conflict with that attorney. So the ethics board attorney did ask that person for some other references, did review those references. This was not the reference that was given by the ethics board. They were provided with a name of somebody that was available, and the ethics board agreed to, I believe the ethics board met to agree to this person? Or did they vote on this person?
My understanding is they've all been made aware of it, and all of them are in favor
But
of it. I don't know if they physically met, because I know they did meet recently. I'll be honest with this.
So we don't really know.
I believe they have.
So this was a vote by the ethics board for
That's
this
my
attorney?
understanding, yes.
Okay, so then that,
So it does seem as though, even though he doesn't describe it himself, he has this kind of background and he will be an impartial.
That is our understanding, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Afternoon, Ian Lyons, Riverhead. I'm a resident, business owner, newest member of this gentleman's organization. I speak to you on that resolution. I'm very troubled by my interaction with the town attorney's office. There seems to be some confusion amongst both the town attorney himself as well as his subordinate who oversees and directs the ethics committee between matters of law and matters of ethics, which are two very different things. A lot of community members have made statements and espoused things regarding whether or not law was broken. And this is not what ethics boards are traditionally charged to do. I've been involved in 3 academic social science research boards, one at George Mason, 2 at Stony Brook University, and it's very clear as to what ethics boards are charged to do, and that is to interpret the spirit of the law, not necessarily the letter of the law, and what are the community, the collective understanding of ethical behavior of the community at large. So, of course, I recommend outside counsel. Although I did not file any complaint, I did file sort of an amicus curiae, if you will, to the ethics board, giving them a framework from which to work with. The town attorneys could not make any assurance to me that the correspondence would be submitted. I have not heard that it was.
I believe if a correspondence to go to the committee would go through the town clerk. Is that correct, Diane?
Well, it's in your correspondence today.
Okay.
I did ask for the town clerk to submit it. She directed me to the town attorney.
And I believe I'm getting direction from the town clerk that it should be submitted to the secretary of the ethics board,
Well,
which we can provide you that
neither the
information.
town attorney nor his subordinate were able to even provide me with names of people on the ethics board.
We can provide you with the name of the secretary.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, very good. So, absolutely. I also agree with the gentleman before me that, you know, just doing a cursory investigation of Mr. Bezos's background, it doesn't seem as if there's a significant amount of expertise in this particular area. However, regardless, outside counsel needs to come in at this point because I think the community is experiencing a lack of faith in the guidance and direction of this board, and and what it is that they're exactly charged with. So let's bring someone out from the outside and offer some proper guidance.
Thank you.
Sorry, I had asked a question which it would be helpful to get an answer from each board member, particularly since at least one
Well,
board
it would be
member
different,
is...
it would be,
How can I
it would be,
render an
di-
opinion on an opinion that I haven't got?
No, an opinion about whether you're going to respect the opinion.
it would have, we would have to wait, we would have to wait to receive the decision from the ethics
Can't
board
tell you if I like
as to
potatoes
their
till I
guidance,
taste it, okay?
as to which way, how they are guiding us, because they have several options to provide us with information, so we'll wait till we get it from them, as to how they direct us to go forward.
So at least one board member is said to have said on the radio that she will not accept the recommendation. I don't know if
Not say
that's
that.
true or not, but I think it's very important.
That's the problem with, it was said to have
Yeah,
said.
yeah,
That's
no,
the problem with a lot
Yeah,
of
a lot
this
of it,
that
yeah,
keeps
Yeah,
coming
if
up
it's
here.
not true, I'd be
I
very
wish
happy
factual stuff
to
would
hear
come up
that's
here
not true.
and be a little
I'm
more.
glad that you're in favor of outside counsel, and that's what we're discussing.
Yeah. I'm also in
Heard,
favor of the
heard.
process leading to a conclusion.
Okay, thank you.
Just to reiterate.
Should not be on the public side.
So just while Speaker's stepping up, Mr. Basso has served on the grievance committee for the 10th Judicial District, or had served on the 10th Judicial District as a member of the grievance committee from 1995 to 2003. He acted as chair from 1996 to 2000. He also does the character and fitness interviews for the second department, so anybody who has any familiarity knows that when someone is admitted to the practice of law, they will be vetted first before they actually get formally approved. And Dave is one of the individuals who vets new graduating law students who've been successful on the bar exam for whether they should be allowed to proceed and be admitted into the practice of law in the second department. So he also does that. He also has acted on the Community Mediation Center, so he's familiar with the mediation process. And I think that, again, for all those reasons, as well as his neutrality, unfamiliarity with the town and all the players, he's, I think, a good fit.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Kathleen McGraw. I'm the Vice President of the Northville Beach Civic Association. Good afternoon, Supervisor Jen Smith and all the other council people. I'm speaking just to urge approval of Resolution 415, notification of a public hearing for the special application permit by URT. We simply ask that there be a public hearing. This is a sensitive matter that affects the people in the area. It is an expansion of a non-conforming use, and we simply ask that you do vote yes for a public hearing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen.
Good afternoon, Ron Hariri of Aquabog. I'd like to speak in support of the resolution requiring the appointment of special counsel with an expertise in ethics. You know, EPCAL is the town's most significant asset. Every aspect of the disposition of this property should have been addressed with the utmost of care and diligence and complete transparency. Instead, thus far, this has been a case study of ineptitude and ethical lapses. Granted, the current board has inherited a mess. I think the contract is really not worth the paper it's written on, and I think that Jody Giglio and Tim Hubbard, during their tenure on the last board, rightly refused to endorse that contract.
Harari, just please.
Somehow, presumably due to poor advice,
Mr. Harari, please
this
just
sweetheart
address
contract.
the resolution, or you need to come speak at the end of the meeting.
I'm
in
addressing the
public.
resolution. Specifically, I'd like to address the ethics issues, and specifically Councilwoman Giglio's request for authority, which may require recusal. That's aside from the multiple defects in procedure, which in my opinion would render this entire transaction and this hearing a legal nullity. But let's get to the recusal issues, and specifically a response to Councilwoman Giglio's
Are you
questions.
addressing the recusal for the resolution itself or for the contract?
I'd like to really address both.
Okay, you can only, right now, at this portion of the hearing, at this portion of the meeting, you can only address it as it relates to the resolution, not to the qualified and eligible. So if you'd like to address it as part of this resolution, for outside counsel, you may, but as far as addressing it for qualified and eligible, that is at the end of the hearing, because right now we're just hearing things that are pertain to the resolutions at hand.
I'd like to bring to the town board's attention controlling second department authority regarding the standard of conduct that public officials and officers must comply with. Specifically, I'd like to bring to the town board's attention the second department's case in Zagaria versus Conklin, which is cited at 109 AD 2nd 281, which indicates that the ethical standards applicable to a public official in a quasi-judicial capacity must be the highest, regardless of whether or not this is specific provision of municipal or town law
Mr.
that is
Harari,
violated.
You're drifting
I'd
onto the-
also, I'm not drifting away, Council,
You are,
Supervisor.
you're addressing
I'm
the
addressing
qualified
the ethical
ineligible.
issue that your own board member asked a question about of the prior speaker. So I'd appreciate if you indulge me and allow me to
I
continue.
will indulge you at the end of the meeting. If you would like to address the resolution.
I am,
may.
if you bothered to listen.
Mr. Harari, you are drifting into the qualified ineligible.
I'm not drifting into anything.
Bob,
I'm
would you like
drifting
to
into
speak up?
specifically, actually, I'm drifting into specifically her involvement and the standard of conduct that, it actually, the standard of conduct that she must adhere to applies to both situations. So there's an overlap.
I think the point that's being made is that the resolution that you're commenting on deals with the question whether counsel should be appointed for the Board of Ethics or not. So that's the four corners of the instrument. The question of her conduct is something that can be
The
addressed
same
later.
ethical standards apply to both situations,
Yeah, but
Mr.
but
Kazakevich.
again, this is comment on resolutions, not
Right,
a comment
right.
on stuff that goes beyond
So
the
with respect to
resolution.
this particular resolution,
I guess the
I'm
question
giving
is,
you
are
a
you in favor? Are
citation
you in favor?
of controlling
You gave-
second
I
department
wrote it down.
authority.
I wrote it down.
Okay, I'd also ask that you take a look at another second department case, Stein versus Town of Islip, reported at 100 AD Second 590, regarding the due process requirements that may be violated in these circumstances. So again, I mean, these are specific ethical provisions that this town board, the council members need to apply, need to adhere to and apply with, and I appreciate that the board review this controlling authority in making its decision. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Joanne Spanberg-Wosky from Jamesport. I am in full support of hiring outside counsel for exactly that reason. This has gotten out of control. It's gone on way too long. We should not even still be discussing this at this point. The ethics board, the outside counsel, it has to stop. This is the end. If you guys vote against this, you're just dragging it on, and I don't know if you're in support of special interest groups or what's going on here, but it's time to wrap this up. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else at this time that wants to address the board on resolutions?
That's me.
Seeing no one, we will move on to resolutions.
Hello.
It's you, Jim.
Oh.
Oh.
Resolution 390.
Vietnam Veterans Memorial Trail budget adoption. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yeah, and I just want to thank the entire Alternative Transportation Committee for all their diligence and all the meetings and showing up at the county legislative meetings, asking for the funding for this project. We've been talking about it for 8 years now, and getting through all the hurdles of trying to plan where the trail is going, what the route is going to be, getting the plans drawn up, getting the plans revised, going into contract where we had to pull the trail out of the overall piece of the Grumman property. It's just been one hurdle after another. And I'm happy to say that we are going to be having a groundbreaking ceremony on Friday morning at 9:30 at the trail. And the contractor will be beginning the work on Monday. So we hope to have the portion of the trail, a significant portion of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Trail completed within 5 to 6 months, right, town engineers? Thank you, town engineers. You've done a great job also in being here every step of the way and coordinating. I mean, we've been to bids, we've been up and down and all around, and it's finally getting built. So thank you all for everybody that participated in it. It's a great project. The Community Development Agency, Joey Mayrana and Dawn Thomas, and thank you all. So, yes,
Wooten.
What? What are we doing?
and the
Yes.
town board, of course.
Jen Smith.
Absolutely, yes.
Resolution 391.
Community Development Fund Budget Adjustment. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 392.
Extends Nunk-Pro-Tunk contract for annual fire and security alarm contract. So moved.
Seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 393.
Highway Department budget adjustment, purchase of various machinery equipment. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 394.
Ms. Knowles at Fox Hill Phase 3B, Capital Water Project 30146 closure. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 395.
Wading River Elementary School Capital Water Project number 60089, closure. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 396.
Water District budget adjustment, purchase of a dump truck. So moved.
Seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 397.
Adopts amendment to investment policy for the town of Riverhead. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 398.
Hmm.
398 is a sanitation recycling program budget adjustment. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yeah, this came about a fund when we had required that all corridors within the town report to the town engineering department the amount of recycling that they're picking up. And they have been donating money back into a fund, and I'm happy to say that this $10,000 will be going to the Butterfly Project, who will be recycling clothing and recycling other things for sale in order to further along the great work that TIA is doing. So this is for the $10,000 for the Butterfly Project coming out of the recycling fund, and I fully support it, yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 399.
Authorizes submission of letter of intent and execution of contract by the supervisor for operating a maintenance grant program to New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 400.
Engineering equipment budget adjustment. So moved.
Seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 401.
Authorizes purchase of 2 used dump trucks for use by the town highway department. So moved.
Just a question, is this ratifies or is this authorizes?
Oh, the dump, are you talking about?
401 and 402, should that be, what?
401 is not
Is-
402, the town board did sign because the highway department's trying to find the dump truck before the board.
Okay, so 401 is authorizes, okay,
402 is just ratified.
okay.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 402.
Now, this is a
So
ratification.
this is a ratification, yeah, this was signed off.
This ratifies the purchase of a used dump truck for the use by the town highway department. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 403.
Authorizes the auction of shopping carts by the highway department. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 404.
Declares certain highway department vehicles and equipment obsolete or surplus property, and authorizes town clerk to publish advertisement for sale of obsolete, surplus highway department vehicles and equipment. So moved.
Seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 405.
Authorizes the supervisor to execute an agreement for disciplinary charges with the public safety dispatcher. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 406.
It accepts the retirement of a police officer. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
And I congratulate Mr. Officer Shul and wish him well. I vote yes.
Hubbard.
Yes, Officer Shul, I had the pleasure of working with. He came to us from New York City Police Department and finished up his career out here with Riverhead, and I wish him nothing but the best in his retirement. Yes.
Giglio.
Congratulations to the entire family, yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
And enjoy your retirement. It's very nice. So yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 407.
Accepts the retirement of a head clerk, so moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes, again, Fran has been with us in excess of
38 years, yeah.
38 years, I was
38
gonna
years,
say
yeah.
32.
Yeah.
Been a mainstay over in the planning and building department. We thank her for her years of service and wish her nothing but the best in her retirement.
Giglio.
Good luck, yes, good luck to Fran, she's a great lady.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes, and thank you for all your service.
Resolution adopted.
And
Resolution 408.
I want to take a minute to congratulate Fran.
Resolution 408.
Accepts the resignation of a homemaker, so moved.
Seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 409.
Appoints a part-time Spanish-speaking clerk to the office of town clerk, so moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
For efficiency in the department and so that the clerk's office can better communicate with a large population of our community, I will vote yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 410.
This appoints a part-time, Larry,
Getting
appoints a part-time
feedback?
school crossing guard to the police department, so moved.
Second?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 411.
Appoints an unpaid intern to the engineering department, so moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 412.
Classifies action pursuant to SECRA and authorizes the town clerk to publish and post notice for a public hearing on a special permit application for Jamesport Vineyard Bistro Edition. So moved.
Seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes to the public
Giglio.
hearing.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes to the public hearing.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 413.
Authorizes town clerk to publish and post public knowledge to consider a local law to amend Chapter 251 entitled Noise, Public Nuisances, and Property Maintenance of the Riverhead Town Code. It's bamboo. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
I just wanted to make a note here that we listened to the feedback from the community, and we also consulted with experts in horticulture from Cooperative Extension, and the Code Revision Committee tweaked this and made some revisions, and we're putting it up again for a public notice. I vote yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Thank you, yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 414.
Classifies action as an unlisted action pursuant to SECRA and authorizes the town clerk to circulate a request for the town board to assume lead agency status for the purpose of SECRA review for the special permit application for United Riverhead Terminal biodiesel expansion. So moved.
Second?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 415.
Authorizes the town clerk to publish and post notice for a public hearing for a special permit application known as United Riverhead Terminal Incorporated, submitted by United Riverhead Terminal Incorporated on a certain parcel located at 212 Sound Shore Road, identified as Suffolk County Tax Map Number District 600, Section 7, Block 1, Lot 2, Riverhead, New York. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
I'm just trying to find the date of the hearing.
June 19th, 7:20 PM.
June 19th, 7:20 PM is when the hearing will take place. Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 416.
Authorization to publish advertisement for signage for the town of Riverhead. So moved.
Seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 417.
Extends bid contract for police uniforms. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 418.
Awards bid for sporting goods. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 419.
I'm gonna go and get a cup of coffee and come back.
I know, there's a lot of resolutions.
You got it.
Appoint seasonal water safety instructors to the Recreation Department. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 420.
Appoints a call-in park attendant 1 to the Recreation Department. So moved.
Seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 421.
Appoints call-in registered nurses to the Recreation Department. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 422.
Before we start 422, 423, and 424, these were the resolutions that were in the packet. I believe that there may be other resolutions that people have that are separate and apart from these that, Ray, do you want to come up and address the board on these?
I don't have any other.
Did you sign a,
Has nothing to do with this, has nothing to do with recreation.
another resolution today?
That's what it
Well,
is.
it should be in.
No.
Yes,
Today?
it's not this though, you're right.
It's not
Yes.
these are the ones that are in the
Yes,
packet.
you're right.
Yeah, the ones in your packet are for starting June 6th.
Okay, Ray, which ones are the ones you want, that have a problem that you need pulled?
What we did is we extracted out some of the employees that were starting before that we had to ratify. So the ones that was
Ray,
submitted.
first let's address the resolutions we have here. You submitted resolution 422, 423,
Correct.
and 425. 422 appoints seasonal assistant
Yes.
beach manager to the recreation department. And it has the list of employees there?
Correct.
And is this resolution, do you want this resolution to go through or not? This is
Yes,
on June
yes.
So this resolution we are voting on?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll go with each resolution. So can I have a first and second for 422?
All right. 422 appoints seasonal assistant beach managers to rec department. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Are we going on to 423?
Yes.
Okay, resolution 423.
But, so Ray, 423, we have appoint seasonal beach attendants to the recreation department. And there's a list of names with that. Is that, are
Yes.
we voting on that one?
Please do.
Okay. So can I have a first and second on appoints the seasonal beach attendants to the recreation department?
I make a motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 424.
Ray, we now have 424, which is appoint a senior head lifeguard to the recreation department. Are we moving forward with that one?
Yes.
Okay, can I have a first and second to appoint a senior head lifeguard to the recreation department?
Motion first.
What's that?
Seconded?
First, okay, first and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted.
All right, Ray, I'm gonna go through all the resolutions that you submitted, and then we can take it from there. So I have, resolution 425, which is appoint seasonal lifeguards to the recreation department. Are we moving forward with that one?
Yes.
Okay.
So moved?
Well, then I'll second.
Moved in second to appoint seasonal lifeguards to the recreation department. Vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 426.
Yes, let's do it. So Ray, for resolution 426, I have appoint seasonal summer recreation staff to the recreation department. Are we moving forward with that one?
Yes.
Okay, can I have a first and second?
I move it.
Second.
First and second to appoint seasonal summer recreation staff to the recreation department. Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Now on to resolution
Okay, Ray, now I believe that there's other resolutions that you want the board to consider. Are we okay taking it out of order? Or do you wanna, with the other
No, he's here now, do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah, I
have-
believe the two are not on here. I think that's it for recreation, right?
Yeah, 426, and then the next one would be Miamog Park budget adjustment.
Yeah, that's different from the salaries.
Because
but-
all of these resolutions are June 6th, for all of these employees, from June 6th through August 31st. Some of them are from June 6th through September 17th, all the resolutions we just passed.
Yes,
So those are the resolutions.
Please.
So for the lifeguards for Memorial Day weekend and for last weekend, was there a resolution for that?
that resolution that was submitted, and I have the 3 board signatures for that one. That
When
was the
was that?
ratified resolution.
When was that done?
We submitted it, I think it was a few days after Memorial Day weekend. We were late.
So those were not in the packet for this Thursday. When did you have board members sign that?
Well, I have them here. They signed it the last few days, looks like.
And did you submit it?
Yeah, we submitted it days after the
We
Memorial
have
Day
no,
weekend.
we have no record of that submission, and if it's not
All right,
submitted.
I have the emails, I'll send it to you.
And when did you get the signatures and submit those?
The signatures I have just this past couple of days, like I said.
Who signed it?
I signed it Friday, I believe, Friday morning.
Friday?
Yes.
And did you
Jody,
guys sign
Jim,
it?
and Tim
Say
signed it.
yesterday, maybe.
So-
Mine's dated, so you can, mine's dated.
Yeah,
all
it's
the time.
6/4. I have 6/4, 6/4,
Yesterday.
6/5.
Laura, can I just make a comment? So I think there's been a little bit of confusion, right, because.
Yeah, it's getting worse by the minute.
You have 3 different resolutions for 3 different staff members, right? Assistant beach managers, beach attendants, and lifeguards. The resolutions they voted on are start date effective June 6th. I think the resolutions you have are start date May 26th.
Correct. And what we did was we extracted out the employees that it would need to be ratified. So that's what these other resolutions are for. So the other ones are good to go, starting June 6th. The ones we extracted out were the ones that started Memorial Day.
So these are the same people with different start dates?
No, they're different lifeguards, different beach attendants.
So the lifeguards that we don't have the resolutions that you're talking about. Do you have copies for the board?
Yes.
Can you present the board with those, Diane, so she can give them to us?
Yeah, it's gonna have to be the last resolution in the packet, right?
Well,
To
either
ratify.
Well, I
that-
think we need to straighten out it's very confusing because people worked and they're not ratified to get paid. So,
No, I know, that's what he's trying to do.
and that's what we're trying to do also.
These should have been coming off the floor as ratification today, is what should happen. Or at least the next meeting.
So do you have copies for the full board?
No, but I can get them.
Okay, why don't you do that and then bring it back and we'll put them at the end and you can come back up and,
Sure.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Where
so
were we?
I think we're on
427.
427.
427.
Okay, resolution 427.
2018 Miamog Park budget adjustment, so moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 428.
2018 Veterans Park budget adjustment, so moved.
Seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 429.
Awards bid for Town of Riverhead and Calverton Sewer Districts Generator Preventative Maintenance and Service, 2018 to 2019. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 430.
Approves the Chapter 255 application of Old Steeple Community Church for their annual summer fair on Saturday, August 25th, 2018. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 431.
Approves the Chapter 255 application of Harvest East End Incorporated wine tasting event, August 4th, 2018. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 432.
Ratifies the approval of Chapter 255 application of East End Arts and Humanities Council Incorporated, 22nd Annual Community Mosaic Street Painting Festival, Sunday, May 27th, 2018. So moved.
seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent,
And this is always a fabulous event in Riverhead. I vote yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio,
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 433.
Approves the Chapter 255 application of Long Island Abate Incorporated 2018 Veterans Appreciation Run, Sunday, June 10th, 2018. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent,
Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio,
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 434.
Approves the application for fireworks permit of the Newton Carnival at Atlantic Bay Medical Center Family Festival, Friday, July 6th, 2018. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent,
Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio,
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 435.
Approves Chapter 255 application of PC Richard & Son Incorporated, and that's a tent sale, August 7th, 2018 through August 21st, 2018. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent,
Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio,
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 436.
Approves the Chapter 255 application of Race Awesome Incorporated, Jamesport Triathlon, July 7th and 8th, 2018.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent,
Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio,
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes, and I hope that maybe the CDA department is having a team for this. My office is having a team for this, so what about the other council people making a team up for this?
I'll be there rooting for you there, Chief.
Yes.
I'm gonna.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 437.
Approves the application for fireworks permit of Riverhead Raceway Incorporated, Saturday, June 30th, 2018. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent,
Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio,
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 438.
This ratifies the approval of the Chapter 255 application of Wading River Shoreham Chamber of Commerce for the 24th Annual Duck Pond Day, Sunday, June 3rd, 2018. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent,
Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio,
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 439.
Authorizes the town clerk to publish and post a public notice to consider a local law to add a new chapter, Chapter 255, entitled
225.
Environmental Quality Review Act of the Riverhead Town Code. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent,
Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio,
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 440.
Classifies action and requests lead agency status for secret review of the special permit and site plan applications for the expansion of 84 Lumber Company for outdoor storage at 1751 West Main Street, Riverhead, New York, and calls for a public hearing on the special permit application, Suffolk County Tax Map number 600-118-4-10. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent,
Yes.
Hubbard,
I'm going to recuse myself on this. My eldest son works for 84 Lumber, so I'm recusing.
Giglio,
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 441.
Authorizes the supervisor to execute a musical works license agreement with CSAC LLC. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent,
Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio,
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 442.
Authorizes the supervisor to execute an agreement with Family Service League for Employee Assistance Program. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent,
Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio,
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 443.
Authorizes town clerk to publish and post a public notice of public hearing to consider a lease agreement with Big Belly Solar, Inc. for Telebelly and Smart Waste Containers. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent,
Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio,
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes, and after we had our work session, they did go back to Telebelly, so they have agreed to increase the number of cans, so there'll be
Awesome.
3 at Jamesport and 2 at Iron Pier, so,
Good.
very good.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 444.
I'm not sure I like that name, Belly.
It's funny.
I started the company up. It was just going.
Not defeated. before, Tim.
Approves agreement between Winship Media LLC and the town of Riverhead, utilize parking, police personnel, and police cars, 2018 New York Wine and Food. So moved.
Seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please. Just, does this have, does the 2361 have to be struck from this before it's in the contract?
It's as amended, right?
As amended?
Yeah, I have the new agreement that I gave to you.
Yep,
as
we have
part
the
of
new
that.
Oh, we have the new agreement, I'm sorry, yep, okay, very good.
Okay, ready? Kent?
Yes, as
Hubbard?
amended.
Yes, as amended.
Giglio?
Yes, as amended to attach the actual, agreement.
Wooten?
Yes.
Jen Smith?
Yes, as amended.
Resolution adopted. Did you give that to me too,
I
Or
have
once
it.
you can email it to me?
Okay.
Resolution 445.
Appoints David H. Besso Esquire of Long to Manillo LLP as special counsel in connection with the investigation of a complaint pending before the Board of Ethics and any proceedings resulting therefrom. So moved.
I just have a question with this, with you, Bob. I believe that there's more than one complaint, and will that all be done by outside counsel, or is it just one, it says a complaint? If we are using outside counsel for more than one complaint, does this need to be amended?
It's my understanding that the request came with respect to the one complaint. If there's a need to do it for more, we can have a further resolution to address additional complaints. I'm not familiar with them handling more than one. It's the first time I'm hearing that.
I believe Mr. Howard I had asked Mr. Howard about that. He did not consult with you about that?
No, I don't believe he did. I knew we were doing it on one complaint. I hadn't heard anything different.
Do you want to table this till you can speak to him?
Oh, Lord, no.
You can do it right now. I don't care if you do it right now.
We can amend it to include any complaints.
If you want to add it.
Put it as in parentheses.
But I mean, we have to have some kind of clarity on exactly what he's handling, so.
Right, because I mean, this is our ability to sign a contract and pay him. So
Right.
if he's handling more than one complaint, it would not be encompassed in this. So do we want to change it to?
I would just add an S to complaint and make it complaints pending before the Board of Ethics with any proceedings resulting therefrom.
No. I've put it as in parentheses. Complaint.
Bob, how would you like to amend this?
I'm going to ask if you can put this one aside. I'll leave this room. I'll go down and speak to my deputy, and I'll come back and.
Good, because I know
I
a
think that would
couple
be
of,
appropriate.
a couple that the whole
So
world
you can
don't
proceed
know
with the
about,
rest
got
of the
addressed
calendar.
already, so.
And I can give you some clarity on whether it's one
I-
or more than one.
I think that because to remain in a timely
So while you're
fashion, I think
finishing
it
up
should be
the
done.
rest of the work, I'll find out.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll move on to resolution 446.
Is Larry here?
Yeah, there's something wrong with the line.
Larry.
Larry, there's a lot of feedback. Okay.
446 declares Riverhead Sound Associates LLC in default in connection with the subdivision entitled Aquabogue Golf Resorts, also known as Highlands at Aquabogue. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent?
Yes.
Hubbard?
Yes.
Giglio?
Yes.
Wooten?
Yes.
Jen Smith?
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 447.
Authorizes the town clerk to publish and post a notice to bidders for Riverhead Water District generator preventative maintenance and service. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent?
Yes.
Hubbard?
Yes.
Giglio?
Yes.
Wooten?
Yes.
Jen Smith?
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 448.
Awards bid for corrosion control chemical for use by the Riverhead Water District. So moved.
Seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent?
Yes.
Hubbard?
Yes.
Giglio?
Yes.
Wooten?
Yes.
Jen Smith?
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 449.
Ratifies execution of a sub-license agreement with Suffolk County Real Property Tax Service Agency. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent?
Yes.
Hubbard?
Yes.
Giglio?
Yes.
Wooten?
Yes.
Jen Smith?
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 450.
Authorizes purchase of a dump truck again for the use by the town of Riverhead Water District. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent?
Yes.
Hubbard?
Yes.
Giglio?
Yes.
Wooten?
Yes.
Jen Smith?
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 451.
Authorizing the issuance of an additional 900,000 bonds of the town of Riverhead, Suffolk County, New York, to pay part of the cost of the increase and improvement of the facilities of the Riverhead Water District. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 452.
A lot of resolutions
There
today.
are a lot of
Yeah.
resolutions.
Public interest order in the matter of the increase and improvement of facilities of Riverhead Water District in the town of Riverhead, Suffolk County, New York. So moved.
Seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 453.
Grievance determination, so moved.
Ooh, I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 454.
A motion to pay the bills. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
That is a yes.
And then I have some other,
You didn't
Yeah,
say
there's
yes.
more coming.
okay, all right, great.
So that's a yes?
You didn't vote yes.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Resolution-
Sorry, that's right.
That's all right. Resolution adopted. Resolution 455.
Amends resolution number 357, so moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 456.
Authorizes Lawrence M. Levy to provide additional audiovisual production services for Riverhead Industrial Development Agency meetings. So moved. What?
I think this just needs to be amended to ratified, because I think they had their first meeting, Monday.
Mondays was televised?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right, so this is ratified.
Okay, that would be ratifies this, not authorizes.
Seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 457.
This one is for,
This is for the town board.
This is for what the parade we just had.
yes, so
Say
this
no
would
to
be,
drugs,
this
so
would be,
this
this would be ratified
This will be
also.
ratified.
Okay, both are ratified.
Ratifies Lawrence M. Levy to provide additional audio-visual production services for the town board, so moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted.
Okay, then let's go back to,
Pass them off the floor.
we have two off the floor first, so let's go back to resolution 445 first.
Yeah, I spoke to Deputy Town Attorney Howard. I understand this was something that just came up today, and something that would still need to go back to the Board of Ethics per se, but no objection to amending the first, now therefore be it resolved, before the semicolon.
Whose phone is that?
That's me, sorry.
Before the semicolon, and after reference herein, add language in any complaint related to said complaint, so that we know it's linked to and tied to any complaint. That's the one that Mr. Bessel is subject to the investigation. So there's gotta be some commonality or relationship. Does that work?
It's fine with me.
Just give
I would,
Just give the verbiage again.
yeah, say it again.
Yeah, okay, so after, first, now therefore be it resolved, third sentence, in connection with the complaint referenced herein, add between herein and the semicolon, and any complaint related to, said complaint, or, yeah, any, or any related complaint. I mean, either one, I mean, it's gotta be tied to the complaint that Mr. Bessel is working on, but if it's tied to it or somehow linked to it, or emanates from it, then it would be something that could be handled by Mr. Bessel.
Okay.
All right?
You'll get that exact to me,
Yep.
right? Email?
Yep.
Okay.
So where were we on this? Did we have a, we didn't,
No vote.
was it called
I
yet?
don't think- I don't
or-
think it
We
was-
haven't
I don't
done
think it
any-
was for a
Okay.
second.
Maybe we should
Okay,
call
so
it
we'll-
again, 'cause it's amended.
Yes.
Appoints David H. Besso Esquire of Long to Manello LLP as special counsel in connection with the investigation of a complaint pending before the Board of Ethics and any proceedings resulting therefrom as amended. So moved.
I will second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
I support getting outside counsel, and I trust our ethics board to render the proper decision. I vote yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio,
Based on the request from the Ethics Board for outside counsel, yes.
Wooten,
And I hope that they render a decision, yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted.
All right, so shall I take these, there's 458 and 459 off the floor? Is this, does everybody have those too?
Yes.
Okay.
Then you'll hand
Then we'll
these.
go to this.
Okay.
Okay, can I have a first and a second to take resolution 458, which is, can I take them both off the floor at the same time? Okay, can I have a first and second to take resolution 458, which is awards bid constructions of pre-stressed ground storage tank at plant number 15, contract E, electrical construction, Riverhead Water District, and resolution 459, awards bid construction of pre-stressed ground storage tank at plant number 15, contract G, general construction, Riverhead Water District. Can I have a first and second to take both of those
Yes,
off
I'll
the floor?
move to take both 458 and 459 off the floor, so.
I'll second.
First and second to take them off the floor, vote please.
Kent,
Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolutions 458 and 459 are taken off the floor. Now we'll call resolution 458.
So awards the bid for the construction of pre-stressed ground storage tank at plant number 15 for contract E, which is electrical construction, Riverhead Water District. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 459.
Awards bid, construction of pre-stressed ground storage tank at plant number 15, contract G, general construction, Riverhead Water District. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted.
Okay, and now we'll call Mr. Coyne up.
There's three files, so take one and pass it there. There's three
Oh,
files.
oh, oh, oh,
Three
oh.
files,
Oh,
three
yeah.
separate records.
Take one and pass it along.
Graders could do that.
Yeah, I confused you, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know why you doesn't have.
I should have put them all together.
No, we don't have time for that. It's too much work.
Diane, do you have your copies?
I don't, when you finish, pass me a copy back. Thank you.
There's just one, right?
Now, these are all the
Or is
people
there
that
two?
you extrapolated out of the
There's three.
current, so there's no duplicates here.
This
Well,
is-
I mean,
Here you go.
maybe job titles, but not two. Different duties.
1, 2, 3. You're welcome.
Okay. Okay.
You can pick them.
I don't know their numbers.
Yeah, you wanted,
So we're gonna number them?
you
Yes.
better.
Okay, so, what are we gonna do here? Ratifies the appointment of seasonal
I
beach
just-
attendants, or do you wanna?
Just a question on these. On 425 and, I'm sorry, the ratifies the appointment of seasonal lifeguards to the Recreation Department. You have, is it someone listed twice, or no?
It should
No,
be.
okay.
Christine and Paul.
Two different
Okay.
types.
And Ray, can I just ask when these people were hired?
I don't know the exact time they were hired, because we do it at all different times, but they were hired before, they were appointed before Memorial Day.
5:25 start date, looks like.
Yeah, all their I-9, W-4s, all the things that you need for the Department of Labor, that was all completed beforehand.
Should I just call them with numbers? Because it's.
Yeah, I think the next one is 460, right?
Okay,
Next one in
right,
line.
so 460 is ratifies the appointment of seasonal lifeguards to the Recreation Department.
Okay, which was that? I'm sorry.
It's
Lifeguards.
450, 460?
Season, yes, 460. Who wants to go?
And then the beast manager?
Okay, ratifies the appointment of seasonal lifeguards to the Recreation Department.
Okay.
Can I get a second?
Okay,
Seconded?
First and seconded, vote please.
Were you the first?
What?
Were you the first? Who was the
Yes,
first?
I was
Okay, okay, and Catherine, okay. Kent,
Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio,
Yes.
Wooten,
I'm just slightly, I mean, of course, but Is this to take these off the floor, or are we voting on a resolution?
Oh, that's right, they have to come.
I
I'm
don't-
sorry,
Procedurally, I don't know where we're at.
Okay, yep, I'm sorry, you are
We didn't even
correct.
get the number, did we?
You are
We
correct.
don't know the number in them.
You are so right. All right, let's just number them and take it off the floor? Should we do that?
Yeah,
Yes, let's number them first and then
All
take them
right.
off the floor.
We'll get it. Okay, and 461 is ratifies the appointment of seasonal beach attendants to the Recreation Department.
Okay.
And then 462 is ratifies the appointment of seasonal assistant beach managers to the Recreation Department.
So we have 460, 461, and 462?
Right, and I make the motion, we take resolutions 460, 461, and 462 off the floor. So moved.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
First and second to take 460, 461, and 462 off the floor.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolutions 460, 61, and 62 are taken off the floor. Now we'll call resolution 460.
Jim, we're gonna give that to
Anybody?
you.
All right, 460 is ratifies the appointment of seasonal lifeguards to the Recreation Department. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 461.
Ratifies the appointment of seasonal beach attendants to the Recreation Department. So moved.
That
I'll
was
second.
462, I thought. The beach
No.
attendance is
Oh, beach
462.
manager.
No, attendance is 61.
Yeah, that's correct.
Right.
Yes?
Did you have
Okay.
attendance or no?
Is it attendance?
Yes.
She said.
Okay, got it.
All right, so do I have a first and second on
You
60,
do, moved and
461?
seconded. Yes.
Okay, first and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 462.
Ratifies the appointment of seasonal assistant beach managers to the Recreation Department. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted.
Thank you.
I bet you won't let that happen again.
Okay.
Let's not make that precedent.
Yeah, really. A little confusing.
Okay, at this point, if anybody from the audience would like to come up and address the board, we just ask you to be respectful in making your comments.
Good afternoon again. I have a question on procedure. Councilwoman Giglio voted on 445. Is that allowed? Shouldn't she, it is? You're the person being investigated and you're making a decision. I'm glad she voted to bring in outside counsel, but I don't understand. It would be like me going before a judge and going, wait a second, I'll think of-"
Well, I have a decision, Rex, on my desk from the Ethics Board that apparently somebody submitted, both myself and Ms. Giglio, and the Ethics Board approved both of us to vote on that.
To vote on 445?
Correct.
Yes.
Wow. Hard to get criminal activity in this town. It'd be great.
Well,
Well, you
sign
got
up.
I don't understand that, guys. I don't know how you can be involved in a situation and get the vote.
Rex, if you want to talk, you have to just come back up to the podium, please.
Like I said, I'm glad, Jody, that you voted to bring in outside counsel. I'm just questioning procedure, protocol, or whatever it's called, point of order type of thing.
It went before the Ethics Board, and they rendered their decision.
Yeah, but it's before, they rendered a decision allowing the person to be that's being investigated to vote?
That's the second
Outside
time I'm
counsel.
saying yes, this
On
is what
outside-
happened, yes.
An outside counsel.
On outside counsel, correct.
Okay.
John McAuliffe again, and I would like first to get a clarification. It's hard to hear when there's crosstalk on the podium. Was, if I mischaracterized that Councilman Giglio had made, in a radio interview, said that she was not going to respect the decision of the Ethics Board, then I would, of course, I apologize, but I'd like to clarify whether that's what I was hearing. Was the talk between you to say that you had not made such a statement? If so, that's certainly to be commended, but I wanted to be very clear about that.
I think it is up to Councilwoman Jody if you would choose to answer that or to not choose to answer that, or if you would like me to answer that for you.
You can answer it for me.
It's a question posed to Ms. Giglio. I guess she's not choosing to answer it at this time, and it's not something that the board would answer on her behalf.
Okay. The question I didn't want to bring up before is a larger question about the process now on the Q&E, and it has to do with what land is being talked about. In the op-ed by the former congressman and in a comment by the former chair of the Republican Party, they said that all of the land within the fence was to be usable. That in fact, if I understood what was being said, that DEC distinctions between developable and undevelopable were not relevant to the land within the fence. Question is that, were they accurate in what they said? And is that what is now being discussed, or is it still being discussed, 600 developable and 1,000 undevelopable?
The land for sale is 1,643 acres. The specific amount that is developable has yet to be determined by the DEC. It is our understanding from previous boards, I don't have anything documented, what did I say, 680? 680, but we have no documentation. The DEC has not ruled, you know, this 680 is all you can develop, or 600 or 900. They have not given us, there's still outstanding questions as to what can be developed and what cannot be developed.
So the previous statements that there was 600 and 1,000 were not based on an actual...
They are an educated guess of what will be able to be developed. There has been no final decision rendered, and no documentation from the DEC that gives a definitive number.
Well, in all fairness, the scope of the secret that was done on that property was limited to 597 acres. So that's all that's been studied. So I can't imagine anyone going outside that scope without another study and another secret.
But would you regard the statements by the former congressman who...
From 20 years ago? I believe that's what his thought was 20 years ago.
That the intention, no, he's talking about right now.
Well, it was
The intention
20
is
years
that,
ago, but that's certainly...
that everything, and the former chair of the Republican Party said, everything within the fence.
Former chair, who's Republican?
Mr. Haas. Mr.
Oh.
Haas, in a comment online, where a lot of this is going on now, said that,
That's why I'm out of the loop. I don't know
again, all of the land within the fence was accessible for development, essentially, is what he said.
The contract for sale is for 1,643 acres. That is what is on the table for sale at this point.
All right, so the distinction between the two types of land is not
Yeah, the history is...
applicable at
it's-
this
The
point.
history is rich with pine barrens and fallouts and believe me, that thing...
No,
is
I
gonna
think
be-
that's very helpful, that people in town should understand that what
Oh, yeah, there's a...
we're
there's-
talking about is 1,640-some acres, that anything can be done
There's-
at this point
there's been a
by
lot of
whoever
movement on
buys it.
I can tell you that. You
There's
should read history.
There is limitations on it. We do know there's wetlands in there. There's tiger salamander in there. There's a few other things of concern to the DEC. But what that actual acreage is, we do not have a definitive answer.
Okay, thank
There's
you.
grasslands also, where the DEC had said if you're going to take away grasslands, which the old subdivision map showed that the grasslands were gonna be taken away, that you would have to replace the grasslands. And that's why there was a plan to actually put topsoil and create a grassland on the western runway.
Yeah,
So
there-
the DEC acknowledges the grasslands, they acknowledge the threatened endangered species that are at the property, the short-eared owls, the long-eared bats, the mice, all of the
Okay, yeah,
short-eared
again,
owls,
my reading
all
from
the
what...
prey, that
Yeah.
these species
Yeah,
were
you
to be
can't.
protected, and that's why the DEC actually adopted the taking law when we had the subdivision process underway, so that any property that we wanted to develop that was environmentally sensitive would
You're not
require
gonna
a
get
taking permit, which is nearly impossible to get, because we tried, and we actually sued the DEC. The DEC adopted those regulations in the middle of the night without a public hearing for the taking permits, and we sued the DEC, and the courts came back and said that we didn't have any standing. So it's, there is a taking permit that's involved if you want to
Somewhere there is a novel in all of this.
Oh,
you have no
yes.
idea. And
But
there's
I-
always somebody else writing it too. Really.
And I think related to it is how it went from the 600 acres for sale for 40 million to 1,600 acres for
Yeah.
sale.
Yeah, I
For
don't
40
know
million.
that,
I'll give it to him for nothing.
I
if it
don't
makes
know
sense.
that, I know Cushman Wakefield was our broker on the property, marketing the 680 acres. And then I think when Illuminati came in, I don't know that it was put out on the market to bid for the 1643, but the contract had changed to the 1643.
Do we know who changed that language?
Originally, it was the original acreage that was for sale, and then Illuminati had came in and said that they wanted a security buffer around what they were proposing to develop on the 600 acres. So that's where the other acreage got brought into the transaction. So
And was there an actual vote on extending to give them that additional acreage, or it simply get
That was
assumed
done
into the
through contract negotiations, that's where it
Or
was
not
added
by a
into,
specific
hence
vote
is
of
why I
the old
voted
board.
against the contract.
And I also voted against the contract.
Yeah, no, I know, you did, that's very,
Mhm.
both of you did.
And I don't believe that it was ever, I don't believe it was ever appraised at the full acreage also. I think that there's never been, I think in 2012 or something, there might have been an appraisal. But prior to going out to market this property, there was never a full appraisal. In an urban renewal zone, you can, if there's going to be significant economic generation, you can sell the property for less. But it's my thought, or what I would have liked to have seen is at least an appraisal done, so you knew the value of the property, especially going from 680 acres to 1643. And I think that was something that was not done prior to entering into this letter of intent.
An appraisal would be very difficult to do on this piece of property because you don't know what the value of the property is until you know what areas can be developed by a DEC permit.
All right, it would seem to me that the underlying contract is still the primary problem in all of this process, and, but you guys got mousetrapped into doing a Q&E on something that a previous board basically thrust in your laps, and I wish you could find a way of dealing with the original problem.
Thank you.
Kathleen McGraw again. I just have a question I want to clarify. So do I understand that if the buyer is found to be qualified and eligible, under the contract, by the time you actually sell the property, will the town of Riverhead know how much land is developable? Will there be a ruling by the DEC? Or will you be selling something that you don't know how much can be developed and how much can't?
I think we will have final DEC, final DEC comments prior to. I think that's
There's
part of the
been a
contract.
request for that?
That's part of the final turnover of the sale, is that we need to find out information from the town. There is obligations on the
We
town's
have to
behalf
sell them a map, right?
for that. But there's no changing the contract at that point.
In other words, whether it comes back that you are selling, 1,000 undevelopable acres, or whether you're selling 600, such that they're getting 1,000 developable acres, you have to go forward with this once you find them qualified and eligible.
It is my understanding that that's correct. I will confirm that with we've used outside counsel for this, so I won't make, he
So
hasn't
they
been intimately
could be-
involved, but I can have that answer clarified.
So they could be paying $40 million for 1,000 developable acres, or it may be 600, or it may be 800. The town doesn't know how much developable land they're selling to these people for the price of $40 million. Is that correct?
You are correct.
Well, the secret study that we spent
No, I
hundreds-
think the answer is that is correct, isn't it? Do you know, Ms. Giglio?
The secret study was based on 600 acres, and it was based on 1 million square feet of build-out. It went through the New York State DOT, through all of the agencies.
Secret was not based on the 1 million square feet of build-out. That was in the development plan for this contract.
The secret was based on what could be built on the property, based on the zoning, and the DEC had already told us, because there was a map way back when that was mapped out that said, you can't build here, you can't build here, you can't build here.
Do you have that map? Can you point to us what can be and can't be built?
It's hanging
'Cause
on the
if you-
wall in my office if you want to go look at it.
So you do know there are 1,000
On the
undevelopable?
original map
But
of
we don't know whether
48
that's
lots.
gonna be the outcome.
That's correct.
And so I would just say again, that the town does not know how much developable land they are selling for $40 million. And if I could find a way out of that contract, I would, because I wouldn't want to be a town board member selling a valuable asset when you don't know how much of it can be developed and how much can't. It just doesn't make sense. Thank you.
Is there anybody else that wanted to address the town board?
Ian Lyons again. I think it's rather curious that on 2 occasions now, in discussing outside counsel or the ethics complaints, which there are multiple, at all, that you have validated that there is at least an appearance or a perception of impropriety. You would not have voted today in favor of having an outside counsel unless you believed that there was a legitimate reason to have that individual. And that individual's legitimate reason would be because there was a perception, right?
That's completely incorrect according to me.
How is
That's
that?
what you're saying, Mr. Lyons. That is not what I'm saying.
Tell me what you're saying.
I'll repeat again what I've said many times publicly. The town attorney's office is acting in conflict to represent the ethics board for any town board member.
Okay.
That's what I said. I never said what you said. So let's make that clear. The information
Mr.
that...
Hubbard, I didn't address you specifically.
No,
so
you
I
made a
find that
general
curious
statement
as, well.
as to why it was done, and I'm correcting you that that's not why it was done.
Okay, well, I'm not here to personally attack you, sir.
I'm not taking it as a personal attack. I'm personally correcting your misinformation.
Okay.
Thank
Very
you.
good, very good. So, Ms. Giglio, when meeting with the members of 555 and her cat, or who else, who knows who was present, she did so without even telling her closest confidant on the board. This is what occurred. You know, and you described it as being research. And I'm glad you did. Because in a social science construct, social science that leads to the development of public policy, there are ethical frameworks in place that guide researchers and public policy planners to prevent unexpected or outcomes that are not desirable. Okay, so, you know, that being said, it's still, it is just amazing to me that if you ethics and law are differentiated. This particular town attorney's office is incapable of distinguishing the difference between ethics and law. And I'm glad that there's an outside counsel. However, you stated that in the past, that in hindsight, you would not have attended this meeting. You did not? What were your words?
Finish, please.
I'm asking you a question.
I move to adjourn.
Mr. Wooten, you clearly will do what you want, as you've told the supervisor, so you can do whatever you'd like. But I will
think
make
let's
it brief.
stick to the points.
I'll make it brief.
Let's not
I'll make
hold
it brief.
back.
I'll make it brief.
Jim.
So we're talking about matters of ethics, and that brings another question: integrity. And integrity is part of the qualified and eligible process for the applicant. I haven't seen a lot of discussion of that, and there are a lot of people in the community who are questioning the integrity of the current applicants. And I'm wondering, you know, how do you factor in, as a board, evaluating their integrity? I would imagine you've looked at past municipalities and communicated with past municipalities that have interacted with the Gramesians and associated people? Is that one of the processes?
We've looked through a lot of documentation. I mean, obviously, the qualified and eligible is from the information we've received, as well as, you know, partly subjective from the information, and each board member will go through the information and then render a decision.
So I would imagine that part of integrity in the qualified and individual is actually complying with the requests of the town and being responsive and engaged in an interactive process with members of the community. They fail to do so. They have failed to do so. So the integrity is really called into question here. You know, if Ms. Giglia would have just simply recused herself, we wouldn't have had to do ethics boards, we wouldn't have had to hire outside counsels, and we could have saved some expense. But there's going to be a tremendous amount of legal expense because of the inadequacies of this contract that even you cannot fully describe, because of the modus operandi that is that of 555 and the Gramesians in all of their projects. You've handed them a blank slate, a tabula rasa. Even with an incredibly succinct and detailed contract, these people steamroll small municipalities with teams of lawyers and have their contracts amended, variances, zoning. They manipulate. These are not people of tremendous integrity, okay? But the contract as it reads right now looks like it was either, if it was written by the town, it was maybe a Suffolk Community College paralegal student, or it appears as if it was written by the buyer. They can do whatever they'd like, as Mr. Wooten often says. So, because the quality of the contract is so poor, and given what you know about these individuals, don't you anticipate years of battling these people unless the contract can be further specified?
I think that's where, you know, we do follow the procedure for the qualified and eligible. Prior to coming onto the board, they did agree to the definitive agreement in principle, as per the letter of intent, which triggered the qualified and eligible hearing. We've had 2 presentations from them at the qualified and eligible hearing. We did request more information from them, that they did provide some information back, and then it was the pleasure of a majority of the board, not myself, to close the town hearing so that there would be no further discussion. Right now there was the ethical question raised, whether Ms. Giglio would be able to vote in the qualified and eligible, and so that's where we stand now in the process, waiting to hear back from the ethics board. And once that is done, then the board will then convene again to debate amongst all of us the qualifications and the eligibility of the applicant to move forward.
Okay, so I leave you just with 5 questions to consider, okay? Not to answer, to contemplate, okay? And these 5 questions are found in almost all public policy formation frameworks when it comes to analyzing the behavior of either researchers or policymakers in the outcome of public policy. These are common and standard policy formation frameworks, okay? I'm gonna ask you 5 questions. I'm gonna ask the community 5 questions, okay? So,
Mr. Lyons, you just need to address the board.
okay. So, the 5 questions that are consistent across all public policy frameworks and all social science research are the following. 1, did the behavior of the individual fail to correspond with the guidelines, common practices, expected norms of the agreed upon framework, in this case the qualified and eligible, and were colleagues able to identify tangible negative impacts of the actions or future negative consequences? 2, did the individual fail to inform colleagues of an intention to alter the process And can one reasonably claim the framework was significantly altered in such a way that could influence the outcome or associated policy due to the independent actions? 3, was there secrecy or concealment of actions or intentions related to the behavior in question? Would a reasonable and informed person conclude that such secrecy was unwarranted and did not serve to enhance the framework due to a flawed or emergent need in the process, unbeknownst to colleagues? 4, could the behavior in question have a direct causal relationship, or could a causal relationship be implied with any level of correlation that may result in negatively impacting the community's overall social environment? 5, do the behaviors being investigated, even in the absence of direct evidence of impropriety, serve to significantly erode the public trust in the overall integrity of the process, the framework and the design, or its resulting public policy? In any ethics public policy setting, answering affirmatively to just one of those 5 questions would be reason for recusal. So I ask you to contemplate all 5. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else that wanted to address the board? Seeing nobody, can I have a first and second to close today's town board meeting?
I move that we
Absolutely.
close the meeting.
All in favor?
We need a second.
Yeah, Tim seconded.
Aye.
Aye, aye, aye.
This is
I'm
what
opposed.
happens when you have 1 week, instead of every third week, right?